Having now created 4 sprites, including a caterpillar, and edited my stage, the backdrop, I'm ready to actually start doing a little bit of animating now. And the first 8 shapes that I'm going to animate are my bits of fruit, and I'm going to start with the apple. And if I click on the costumes tab, you see that we've just got the one costume at the moment, which is the apple. And what I'm going to do is duplicate the costume. So I've got 2, and then I'm going to edit the second one. Now I can right mouse click duplicate, or the other thing that I can do is using the duplicate tool that we've already used to make myself 2 copies. And really simply, all I'm going to do with my second costume is use the eraser tool, make it quite a big chunky eraser. In fact, let's make it as big as we can. That's too big. And then take a chunk out of the apple. So that is my first costume, and there's my second costume. And you can see the effect we're aiming for here, a little bit of animation to show that the caterpillar is munching its way through the different bits of fruit. So let's go and edit and do exactly the same thing to my strawberry. I'm going to right mouse click duplicate, and I'm going to use the eraser tool, and this time let's make a big chunky hole in the middle. That's quite effective. And finally, let's do it to the sprite. Now at the moment I'm only making the 2 costumes. I haven't actually put any actions in yet to actually trigger something to play the animation, so to speak. So let's go back to the eraser tool and let's put a nice big hole in the pear. There we go. So there are my 3 animations. Now for the first time in Scratch, now we're actually going to put some actions to the sprites so that something actually happens. And I'm going to go to scripts, and currently we're looking at the pear. There's no scripts at all on the pear. What I want to happen though, if I choose, we've got this selection of different tabs here for all the blocks that we can use. If I click on looks, we've got one called next costume. And all this does, we've got the 2 costumes for the pear, one with the hole, one without, is it moves it to the next costume. But I need an event, sorry, a control, an event, so that it's there's something that actually triggers it moving to the next costume. It could be when a key is pressed, such as the space bar or whatever else it is, but I'm actually going to go for now for when the sprite is clicked. And let's just see if it works. Over in my Scratch window, wonderful. So when I click the pear, it moves to the next costume. Now I'm going to repeat that action. I'm going to go to the apple now. You can see I've chosen the apple too. There's no code on this one. I'm going to put in the event when the sprite clicked. I'm going to go to looks. I'm going to go to next costume. Let's check that works for the apple. There we go. Now I could repeat this again for the strawberry, but I'm just going to show you a little neat trick. If you grab a selection of blocks, you can actually drag them onto a sprite. If I click on the strawberry now, you can see I've got the code in there. So you can actually save yourself a little bit of time by dragging code around. And hopefully all 3 of my sprites now, when I click them, move to the next one. And it's probably a good time to actually explore using full screen, just to get the full effect of our animation. There we go. You can see it's looking a little bit more interesting for children. Now with my caterpillar here, I'm actually going to do a little bit more work, because what I'm actually going to do is, rather than actually having just the 2 costumes, if I go to the costumes tab on the caterpillar, I'm actually going to make him a little bit more complicated. I'm actually going to make him grow, then turn into a chrysalis, and finally turn into a butterfly. Okay, I've done a little bit of work in your absence, recording different caterpillars of different sizes in a cocoon, and then finally change into a butterfly. And again, all the scripts I need for that is when this sprite is clicked and on looks, we need it to go to next costume. Okay, let's run that in full screen. and see how it looks. What I should really have done is actually filled my butterfly, so it's filled in a little bit more. So there's my caterpillar. Every time I click on him, he grows a bit, changes to his cocoon, and then we've got a butterfly. And if I wanted to be really clever right now, I could perhaps do some animation to make him fly off or similar.